Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Dr. Raymond Keller.
Thank you, Anja. It's a pleasure to be here again with you and with our audience, all the friends of Venus.
Exactly. And for the Friends of Venus, we want to do now the weekly Venus report. And the funny thing that I would like to say in the beginning, to begin with, is we had the first weekly Venus report many weeks ago. So when we are talking about something weekly, we are talking about Venusian time. Venusian time measurements, right? So it's not the earthly calendar week, but it's the Venus calendar week. So we never know.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
never.
we're operating on a different time schedule, and of course, the Venusians understand, and they can make room for our Christmas and New Year's celebrations.
Exactly. So weekly Venus report means that we would just like to share some upcoming news, some important news, something that we would like to say and share with our friends and with our audience. So start, Ray, what do you have to say?
Well, the Mufon of Western Pennsylvania Mutual UFO Network will be holding its yearly conference in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, on the 29th of April, and I'll be one of the speakers that will be there. Also, I'm continuing to write the series of articles concerning George Adamski, the famous Southern California contactee, and his second trip to Europe in 1963 when he visited Denmark and Belgium, and I'm presenting many new and never before seen photographs of George Adamski in that series. And I'd also like to thank you in that regard for doing the translation. So there'll be that series in the German language in the UFO-Nachrichten for all.
Exactly. Let me just quickly jump in because it's going to be published. It must arrive in the next days. The first part is translated and it's now in the next edition of UFO-Nachrichten that's going to be published now in these days. And I'm going to continue, of course, with the other article translations for the next UFO-Nachrichten. So for all our friends who speak German, our German friends, please, I'm going to link this, of course, in the description, in the video description, so that you can order the copy directly from Werner Forster, our friend from the UFO-Nachrichten.
Well, I know Werner and everyone in German-speaking countries are going to be very happy with it because um, it's going to be about in 7 or 8 parts, and I'm already working on part 6. They'll be very excited to see many of these pictures of George Adamski that have been lost, and they'll finally be restored with this article, as well as some of his unique teachings of cosmic philosophy that he told the people in Belgium and Denmark during his trip in May of 1963.
Wow, that's really, my goodness, 63. That's 60 years ago.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, 60 years ago, almost exactly. We're coming up onto May real quick, and yeah, 60 years. It's amazing.
And as actual and as current as during that time, even more important now to really get this information and get the message of the Venusians, which were brought through George Adamski. So it's wonderful that we have the chance to share it now.
And also, I've been working very closely with uh, the UFO Disclosure Group in New York City, and Joseph Foster's UFO group in New Jersey. And we're getting ready for the commemoration of Howard Menger, the contactee Howard Menger, and his wife Conny Menger, and the visit to their farm of the Venusian commander known as Valiant Thor. And that date has been set for June the 16th in Highbridge, New Jersey, and I'll be one of the speakers there at that important commemorative event.
Wow.
So we'll have more information, not only about the event, but also some startling revelations right here on this program about Valiant Thor and his crew and their appearance that day in New Jersey back in the late 1950s, as well as subsequent appearances and information revealed by Valiant Thor.
Great.
Okay, now I've got an interesting email to share from one of our viewers, Haluk, in Turkey. And he was compiling information from various contactees over time about the Venusians and their society. And he sent me a lot of material, but I'm going to just share some comments regarding the revelations of a contactee known with the initials of EJ, by the initials, excuse me, of EJ. And excuse my sore throat there. It's kind of rainy and cold out here in West Virginia today. Okay, I'm going to see if I can pull this up. Okay, this is on Venus as on other planets. We live and progress according to universal laws of a cosmic energy force. Most of you Earth people, on the other hand, live according to your own personal desires instead. Many people on Earth place much emphasis and importance on acquiring material wealth and possessions. This is an effort of misplaced priorities. Knowledge and wisdom are permanent qualities that transcend all physical properties, for in the next existence you take your knowledge with you and leave your possessions behind. Death is shifting form, as read and known in the New Age reader by the New Age reader. The soul is a non-physical, creative, motivating force, which is an indelible part of you, and you are an indelible part of the soul, which is constantly growing, expanding, learning, and functioning. So hopefully, as we progress in this series that we're doing on the various tiers of existence, we'll be able to understand these concepts better. But then he continues, your astral body, which contains portions of your consciousness, goes for a walk, so to speak, during your dream state, by which you could communicate with others, both in the physical reality and other realities. Change is forever and growth is forever. There is no beginning and no end. Each life and incarnation is a certain lesson to be learned, and our planet Earth, or your planet Earth, is a testing lab where you learn to utilize your creative talents in a responsible manner. I'd just like to thank Haluk for all the work that he does and promoting a knowledge of esoteric concepts and of worlds beyond our own, not just Venus, but the inner world of Agartha and other worlds in our solar system and beyond in many dimensional levels. So I'd like to thank him for that.
Thank you, Ray, for sharing that. These were really beautiful words. And sorry, I didn't quite get it. So what was exactly the source of these words? Who said that?
Well, he's sending me various information on contactees, particularly contactees with the Venusians. And this is from one contactee simply identified with the initials EJ.
Oh, okay. Yes, you said that. So we don't really know. It's probably a channeled, or is it a direct information? Is it a channeled information? Do you know that? No.
I believe no, I believe that this one is on the physical realm.
All right. Yeah, but it doesn't matter
Because
because the words are just pure. It's good.
yes, and I believe that this individual may be on the level with Omnec, because EJ refers to the earth. When he refers to the earth, he or she, could be a she, says your planet.
Mm.
So, obviously coming from a Venusian perspective. So this is but being incarnated on the earth, or being living on the earth, presenting the information from a Venusian perspective.
Yes.
So, I'll have more information to share from any other readers. I've also been receiving a lot of information and documentation about Valiant Thor and some of the things that he had to say as well. So in future broadcast transmissions of the Venus Weekly Report, I'll be having some information there to share as well.
Okay, so that was everything from your part at this point?
Well, I also have some information on weather on Venus, to please the nuts and bolts crowd that's out there. And so let me pull that one up here, and if I can find it. Okay, there it is. Okay, this is from the Science Daily website, and it's July 21st of 2021, coming from the University of Tokyo with the Akatsuki, about the Akatsuki probe, Japan's space probe to Venus. And I'd like to read this one section on here, because I feel it's really apropos to our broadcast. Earth and Venus share a lot in common. They are similar in size and mass. They're both within the same orbital region known as the habitable zone, thought to support liquid water and possibly life. They both have a solid surface, and both have a narrow atmosphere that experiences weather. Therefore, the study of the weather on Venus can actually aid researchers in their quest to better understand the weather on Earth as well. To do this, researchers need to observe cloud motion on Venus day and night at certain wavelengths of infrared light. However, until now, only the weather on the daylight-facing side was easily accessible. Previously, some limited infrared observations were possible of the nighttime weather, but these too were limited to paint a clear picture of the overall weather on Venus. Enter the Venus Climate Orbiter Akatsuki, launched in 2010. It is the first Japanese probe to orbit another planet. Its mission is to observe Venus and its weather system using a variety of onboard instruments. Akatsuki carried an infrared imager, which does not rely on illumination from the sun to see. However, even this cannot directly resolve details on the night side of Venus, but it did give researchers the data they needed to see things indirectly. Now, in my fourth book, The Vast Venus Conspiracy, I have photographs of the night side of Venus taken by the Akatsuki, and you could see vast patches of light all over the planet. And as I explained in my Venus books, the night side is well lit because there are phosphorescent or insects that you can that are swarming in the atmosphere, and I don't know if it's just coincidence or what, but in the same issue of Science, it talks about the Science Daily. It talks about the mysteries surrounding swarming insects, and it said that as they approach their destination, they orbit it. They go into an orbital pattern, like a swirling pattern, kind of like a Fibonacci spiral, mm-hmm. and they circle around it. And when I describe the Scyther Dome on Venus, and how the bees, these very large bees that are indigenous to the planet, came into the dome, they would circle around 13 different portals. It's a dome structure, and they would enter in through these portals, and then they would continue orbiting around inside the dome. And so I thought, wow, this is very, very fortuitous that this article appeared in the 21 July 2021 Science Daily.
I see.
And the article also goes on to explain the patterns of wind shifting at very high speeds in the upper atmosphere around the equatorial belts of Venus, and also the north to south winds as well. The latitudinal as well as the longitudinal wind patterns of Venus. And this is very interesting because on the surface it's very calm. And as we know from the Russian Venera probes that measured the wind velocities and so forth on the surface, it's just like a calm spring day, and you could actually see for quite a long ways off different mountain ranges in the background. The Veneras landed on a volcanic plateau, but it was very calm weather. The wind wasn't any more than like 4 miles per hour, and it was one had volcanic basalt rocks underneath, and the other one had a varied terrain that looked like something you might see in the Arizona or New Mexico desert. So that's the science report for today, and I believe that's it for the science report.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ray.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
So I think that I would like to close our weekly Venus report with two announcements from my side. I mean, of course, the first one is our side. It's again that I would like to let everybody know that this book is now available on Amazon. It's written by Dr. Raymond Keller. It's not directly a Venus book, but exactly, but indirectly, because as you can see, we have here the star, and this is supposed to be the morning star Venus, where the inspiration, the light the inspiration light is coming. And this script roll is, of course, written text. And this is Mary Magdalene bringing forth this text. And this is in this book. So this book is called The Gospels of Thomas and Mary Magdalene, and it's written by Ray. So you can get it now, and if you buy it, it's available on Amazon as a paperback book. You can order it and as a Kindle, in a Kindle version. And when you order it and you like it, please give a 5-star review, 5-star, and write some nice words, because there's nothing yet on Amazon on this book. And this helps, of course, the sales, and it helps supports our work when you do that. So.
Oh, thank you, Anja. And I have to say that this is officially called the Morning Star edition. Mm-hmm. It's doing very well. It was number one at least 2 times for new releases. And it's been, as I've checked it periodically, it was up to number 21 in all books of Gnostic texts. Gnostic is the word for knowledge, or gnosis from the Greek. And of all the 8 million plus books that Amazon publishes, it's already 89,000.
Wow.
So, yeah, out of 8 million, that's pretty fantastic, really, to be out of 8 million books to be number 89,000 as far as readers go. And it hasn't been out very long, only since the 22nd of December.
That's true, exactly.
So it's doing very well, and many people have told me that they are just totally wowed by this book, and the amazing revelations and easy to read accounts and texts in this book that are all fully documented. Like this,
as always, yes, of course. With
this is just one page. I just flipped open to it, but all that is a footnote.
Of course, it's not on every page that you have to read so many footnotes. It's just, of course, that Ray documented it, and for all who really want to study deeper, there is all information in this. It's something to integrate and to study, of course, when you really want to go deeper.
So I take the Standard Bible, and as well as other Gnostic texts and archaeological information from various research digs throughout the Middle East and so forth, to prove that everything in here is true.
Yes. So that was that. That was the promotion part, so to say, and the next part is another. It's another promotion, but it's more an announcement of, again, the Mount Shasta Summer Conference, which is going to be one of the highlights next year. This year, it's already this year. It's going to be in the end of June 2023, of course, in Mount Shasta, organized by Robert Potter. And I'm linking in the YouTube description the link to the conversation that Ray, Rob, and I had a couple of weeks ago about this meeting and about Omnec Onec, because she agreed to be part of it. It's still something that I'm so excited about seeing her again after so many years. And so this is going to be, from my perspective, one of the highlights probably of my life altogether, because we will be together, you, Ray, Omnec, and myself at one spot. And this is because you and Omnec are my main Venusian sources of knowledge, of inspiration, my teachers. So I owe you, I don't owe you nothing, but it's just this connection that is so, I'm still overwhelmed and so grateful for this knowing you and Omnec and seeing you too, including all the other beautiful souls who are going to be there and spending a couple of days together with you. Feels like homecoming already. So
oh yes,
of course I'm linking this, and you can get discounted tickets from my website. So please take advantage of this offer when you're seeing this, because Robert Potter, because I'm coming from Germany, and Robert Potter gave me the opportunity to sell tickets to support our work and to support our trip. Yes.
Well, thank you, Anja. Thank you for those kind words. And I know it's fated that that all these Venusian energies come together in these days, and to coalesce and meet there atop beautiful Mount Shasta in Northern California. Call it the Magic Mountain, and we don't know what beautiful and marvelous things may entail from that encounter of all these Venusian energies there. But if you can make it there, you won't regret it. And please, if you're considering it, don't miss it. Don't miss out on the opportunity. We'll also have editions of the Gospel there, which I will personally sign, and Omnec will be there to sign her books as well.
Exactly. That's another announcement that I can already make or do. Am I making or doing an announcement?
It could be either way.
Okay, so the announcement,
the verb do,
is,
yeah, do or make.
I'm showing you. This is the original book from Omnec, UFO From Venus I Came, published in 1991 by Wendell C. Stevens, the UFO researcher and US Air Force colonel. I think that's what he was, right? So this is worth gold. I'm going to take this forever with me, of course. I don't know who I'm going to hand it over, but maybe I'm no, blah blah. I'm not going into discussing this now, what I'm going to do with this, but what I'm going to do with the content is I'm republishing it soon. So I'm at the moment, I just started working on it a couple of weeks ago already. And because I have to do the editing again and the layout, I'm putting it back. I'm making a time trip back to the original version, because the other version that we published in 2011, this one, the Venusian trilogy, this is the compiled edition of all of Omnec's books. And this was slightly edited in terms of the publisher had some specific wishes to make some alterations, changes, take some parts off and add some parts. So in accordance with Omnec, it was slightly edited in some specific points. I can give you just one example. One example was that Omnec writes in this book that she was Peter during the times of Jesus, that she was the disciple Peter. And the publisher, the deceased publisher, she didn't like that. So she did not want to publish this specific information. So we had to take it out. And there were some other things that we changed. So what I'm going to do is to bring back the original version where everything is just the way Omnec wrote it in the 60s. So the complete original version. And I'm going to do another video on the specific, I'm going to repeat this over and over again in the next weeks and months whenever I have an opportunity. because there is another version of this book available on Amazon, but it's not really an authorized version. Maybe you have that, Ray, and I'm sure that probably hundreds and thousands of people bought it because nobody knows that it is not an authorized version. It's called UFO From Venus I Came, from Omnec Onec, and it's published by Global Lights Publication.
Right, Timothy Green Beckley.
By Timothy Green Beckley, exactly. And this is, it's a little tricky subject because I contacted him while he was still alive, and he just told me that he purchased the rights from Wendell Stevens. And I shared this information with Omnec, and she said, well, I never sold my rights to Wendell Stevens. So he cannot have had it, and he cannot have sold it. So if this kind of deal was made, it's spiritually not really correct. So it's politically, spiritually not really correct. And Omnec never received money from the sales. Never, not $1.
Yes, I at the time I bought it, I had no idea.
Nobody knows that, and of
all
course,
that was going on in the
I'm not the
background.
type of person either who goes to court and who has the money to hire a lawyer. So, and I don't know who is now in charge of the company and who gets the money from the sales and how many books were sold. I don't know. But for all of you who are now listening to this, in case somebody knows something, please get in touch with me so that we at some point maybe find a solution for that, because it's, yeah, now that I'm going to republish the original version, of course, then we will have two times the same book on the market, but one is authorized and the other isn't and has never been. Yeah, so that was all from my side.
Plus yours will contain the original information.
Yeah, you know what? The one from Timothy is also the original, because it is really the original content from Wendell C. Stevens. That the only one that's edited is actually the trilogy.
Oh.
But not to the core. It's just these little details, you know, some little details that the publisher didn't feel comfortable with for personal reasons.
I should say that that also that our German edition is also updated with yes. the information, and it's edited, contains more photographs and more enlightening information about Venus. And other contactees that aren't mentioned in the first one. So in the German-speaking countries, if you could get this book, they'll be very happy that you did.
I'm going to link this as well in the video description. So that was it for the in Venusian in Venusian dimensional terms, the weekly Venus report. So see you the next time, my dear friend Ray. And yeah, that was it for today. Love.
Thank you, Anja.
Love and blessings.
And thank you, Friends of Venus. Keep looking up.
Bye.